Hello everyone. I have received some feedback from from the audience, and some of the students asked me, okay, they don't have a laptop with high memory. Actually, you don't need a lot of memory. You can just simply create machines with 512 MB RAM or 2 GB or 1 GB machines. But still, some prefer to use the cloud instances so that they can access this Ansible Lab from any place, because the one I have explained was using VirtualBox and Vagrant. VirtualBox, of course, you have to access your laptop for that one. Let's say if you want to set up the lab using AWS, GCP, or something like public cloud, of course you can, because the free tier is more than enough to do this lab. So in this video, what we are going to do is we will create an Ansible lab using AWS. So what you need is basically an AWS or GCP or Azure free tier account. This free tier account is more than enough. So in our case, we have to use AWS free tier. So this is a bit straightforward. You just create an account. It will ask you for the details like username, password, email, and also the credit card, because you have to give the credit card information for the billing purpose. But it will not charge if you are just using the free tier account. Okay, I'm not going through this one because it's just a visa, just email, password, and that's it. Just do this one. So you will land in a page like this, AWS Management Console. This is a cloud console. You have all the services here. We are not going to explore anything other than the EC2. Okay, so what you have to do is very simple. We will create the EC2 instance within the free tier usage, so it won't charge anything on your credit card. Okay, so we all know learning Ansible is not just a reading process, and you really need to do a lot of hands-on practice with all use cases you have. So as I mentioned, the Vagrant Lab is not enough for few people, and they prefer to use cloud. Is good, actually. You will learn cloud part, but some are not using credit card. Some are afraid of this billing, and also you can choose whether Vagrant or the VirtualBox or the AWS, like that. Okay, whatever we are doing now, it's pretty straightforward. If you are using Terraform kind of IAC, like infrastructure as a code, I have another video for that in the same series. You can simply do Terraform up, and Terraform will take care of creating the virtual machine, configuring the virtual machine, and Ansible Lab will be ready within 4 to 5 minutes. But in this video we are going to explain, because some are not familiar with the Terraform, so we will do everything manually. Okay, creating the VM configuration, everything. So the first thing what you need is AWS account. I already told you, just sign up for the free tier account. And the second thing is like you should know the basic Linux knowledge. Of course, for Ansible you need that. Then we are going to launch our instance. So in EC2, what you have to do is creating few virtual machines. In our case, you can use any operating system. We are going to use the default Amazon Linux 2 AMI, and here we will use only the free tier eligible one. Instances I need 3, because 1 for Ansible engine, 2 for Ansible node. VPC, everything I keep default one. If you want, you can create new VPC, create subnet, all those things. I make it very simple one. I'm not going to change anything else. Storage, the default one. We don't need any storage. Tag, you can use it. I put like lab, Ansible, name, etc. But I'm not going to use the same name for all, so keep it like just simple one. It's good if you want to clean up the lab. Security group, you can create any existing security group, or you can just create a new one or use the existing one. So we are going to create a security group. I will put like Ansible Lab security group. Okay, v2 something, any name. You can use Ansible Lab or security, just SG, Ansible, anything. And we need to enable few access. One is SSH of course, then HTTP. This is for if you are executing some HTTP installation in the playbook or some Nginx test and all. Anyway, you have to test it outside. So yeah, just enable this. This is fine. We are not going to keep this lab for long, and nothing sensitive inside. And if you want to enable the ICMP like a ping, add that as well. Okay, so the ICMP, you have to add the subnet, the area, and yeah, that's it. So SSH, ping, and HTTP, HTTPS. If you need any other test, you can add that. Make sure you add it here in the security group. Next, review. Okay, we are going to create T2 micro, then SSH, HTTP, HTTPS, TCP, all those things. Instance details is it will show the VPC, storage, default tags. That's it. Okay, this is important. This is a key pair we are going to use once the VMs are created. So what I have to do is I have to create a new key or choose the existing one. So I am going to create a new key. I put like Ansible Lab demo. You can give any name. The important thing is you should download this key pair and keep it somewhere safe. In our case, Ansible Lab demo is downloaded somewhere. Then it will be in the downloads, I believe, and this key will be deployed inside the VM. So I launch the instance. It's launching. We can see the instance here and wait for it. So if you go to the dashboard, you can see some instances are running. No, not yet. There are other old instances. Ignore that one, and it will show you some details. If you have any running instances, if you have any disks, make sure it's not using. So I have some old one, so I'm going to delete this one. Terminate. Okay, ignore for that. That one was tested for another class. So now we have 3 instances running. Ignore others. So no names. We don't know which one Ansible engine, which one not. So we are going to configure that. So the first thing you have to do is just name the instances, right? So you will understand which one is which. So you can simply do that here. Name Ansible. You can give any name. I'm just using Ansible engine. Ansible node 1, Ansible node 2. Okay, so we have renamed, so we know which one is which now. So the next one is very simple. We have to configure the instances. So what we are going to do is we will use the instance private IP to access between, like from Ansible engine to Ansible node. We just use this private IP. But from our machine to Ansible engine or Ansible node, we have to use public IP. Why we are using private IP? Because you have to set the configure this inventory and all, and the private IP will remain same. But the public IP, if you stop, you will lose this public IP because this is ephemeral. Means when you stop, you will lose the IP, and next time you start, you will get a different IP. So you cannot keep that in the inventory or not. So what is next is you can allocate the elastic IP, but this is not really recommended because it will charge you if the IP is not in use. Okay, so don't do that. So the next thing is we have to check this one by one. But first thing we are going to do is configure these Ansible nodes. If you are using on Windows, of course you have to use any SSH client like PuTTY, mremote-ng, mobile-xterm, etc. Or if you have a git bash or some kind of SSH client, that's enough. So in our case, we are going to copy this. This is our public key. So we are going to configure node 1 and node 2 first. So copy the public key first. So this is the first step. I'm on my laptop. I have the SSH key, the perm key downloaded here. ls-l /download/ what was the name again? It was Ansible, okay, Ansible Lab demo, Ansible Lab demo.pm. Okay, good. So what I have to do first is very simple. So I just move /download/ Ansible Lab to my SSH directory. So ls-l /.ssh Ansible Lab demo /i /.ssh Ansible Lab demo.pem, then EC2 -user my public IP of the node 1. There is something wrong with the permission, so what I'm going to do is 600. So chmod 600 /.ssh. So if you face this issue, remember this one, because I missed to change the permission. It should be 600. So okay, now we check it. Okay, good. Now we try to log in. Okay, we already inside the machine. The first thing we have to do is we are going to name the machine properly. So it's now with the internal IP name. So we are going to use host name ctl, then set host name Ansible node 1. Okay, simple. Then we have to configure a user for Ansible. So I will use like user add. Okay, I have to use sudo user add, maybe DevOps, sudo password DevOps. So I just use DevOps as password. Fine. Then I have to enable the user or password based authentication. So what I'm going to do is sudo vim, or you can just like edit and change it. So here I am going to use a quick cd command. So it will change password authentication from no to password authentication yes. Now so systemctl restart SSH, because the password authentication is needed for testing, because maybe inside the playbook you have some user add command and you want to test it from outside, so it should work, right? This is not really required for the production, please remember that. Then for the DevOps user, you are going to use the DevOps as user for the Ansible automation. So what you have to do is enable the sudo access for DevOps. So what you have to do is very simple. Sudo vim etc sudo-d. You can use any method to enable the sudo access, but we are going to use like a separate file. So I just enable DevOps for all commands, no password. That's it. Okay, so we have a DevOps user inside node 1. So you log in again, so you can see this is node 1. Great. Now we have to do the same for node 2. So we go to the node 2, get the public IP. Get the public IP and login. The thing is hostname ctl, set hostname. Okay, this is node 2, Ansible node 2. Great. So we will do the same thing in sudo user add DevOps, sudo password DevOps. Okay, good. We have the user with the DevOps. Then we enable the password authentication. So do it. Then sudo systemctl restart SSH. Great. And we have to enable the sudo access for the DevOps user. Sudo vim etc sudo-d, then DevOps. Okay, that's it for node 2. Great. So we have configured node 1 and node 2 with the user and password based authentication, and also set the host name. Now we have to configure the Ansible engine. Take the public key, do the same thing, but we have to add something more. Okay, sorry for that. This is Ansible engine, sudo hostname ctl, source name ctl set hostname Ansible engine. Great. The next thing is you can check the version. We forgot to check that. This is CentOS RHEL Fedora. This is Amazon Linux one. It will compatible with these flavors. So the next thing you have to do is install, whether check the install Python installed or not. So we can do like sudo yum list installed python star. Okay, we have Python 2 and Python 3, so we don't need to worry about that. So sudo yum install ansible. Okay, in AWS Linux you can install in AWS AMI or Amazon Linux you can install this different way, but we are going to do something different here. Okay, now we have to install Ansible because Python is already installed. So what we have to do is first we have to install the repository called EPEL, enterprise extra package for enterprise Linux. So in Amazon Linux it's a bit different. So what you have to do, if you are using Red Hat or CentOS or Ubuntu Debian, just follow the method for installing Ansible based on the documentation. So here sudo Amazon Linux extras, then install EPEL. Okay, it's installing some packages. After that we will be able to deploy Ansible. So what we are going to do is sudo yum install Ansible. Okay, it's using by some package managers, that's fine. It's installing Ansible 2.9. If you want to install the latest version or different version, always refer the documentation where it will show you how to install a specific version of the Ansible. Okay, good. Hostname serial. Okay, we already changed the hostname. Okay, I forget. Now we check Ansible version. Okay, it's using 2.9, Python 2.7. Good, all good. Okay, we have Ansible with the Ansible engine. So the next thing you have to do is okay, I'm going to create a directory for keeping my test. cd Ansible demo. Good, nothing inside. The first thing we have to create is ansible.configuration. So vim ansible.cfg. So inside I put something very simple, defaults. I put inventory. So I put inventory is /inventory. You have to create this inventory file later. Then remote user, we have already created a DevOps user. We are going to create that DevOps user. That's it for now. Cat ansible.cfg. Okay, now for the inventory, we are going to create myself. So this is a machine. So I put like Ansible engine. So this machine is Ansible engine. So for whatever if you are doing any local host, then it should not use the SSH connection. It should be local. So there is an option in Ansible called Ansible_connection. Then I put equal to local. So if there is a playbook, if there is any job running on Ansible engine or local host, it should be executed as local connection. It should not use SSH symbol. Then I have a group nodes where I group node 1 and node 2. So I have two nodes, and for node 1 we can use we have two Ansible node machines which we have created in AWS, right? We can directly use the node 1 host name like private IP DNS like this, but this is very lengthier one. It won't be nice when the playbook executes, so what we are going to do, we will use the private IP. Then I put ansible underscore host equal to IP. You can use name or IP. So same goes for node 2, ansible underscore host equal to IP, private IP, because the private IP remains same. If you use public IP, it will change whenever you shut down, because after the lab you practice, you shut down and turn on the next day. We don't need to run it all the time. Okay, that's it, node 1 and node 2. So cat inventory. So we have inventory ready, we have configuration ready. I want to like SSH or ping node 1. It won't work because node 1 doesn't know any entry in the DNS. So what usually we do, sudo vim etc host. This is not really required. Here I put node 1 IP. I think this is node 2. I need node 1 also. Node 1, node 1. Okay, so I have node 1 and node 2. So what I'm going to do is ping node 1. Good. Ping node 2. Good. So this is the main requirement. So you can do like SSH node 1. It should work like that. Okay, and that's it for the engine. And the next thing is like we want to enable this SSH key access. Now SSH DevOps to node 1. It's asking for a password. Sorry, DevOps. You can log in, but it's asking for the password. We need a passwordless access to the nodes. I think we have to install sudo yum install git. Let it be here, because we are going to clone the repository and push pull, all those things you can do. Always keep the files playbooks inside your git repository. It will be easy for you to keep it later, because this instance you can delete anytime. So whenever you do work, clone it, push it, that's it. Okay, so the next one is a SSH key based access from Ansible engine. Now it's asking for the password. So what I have to do, first thing you have to do is you need a SSH key. You have a authorized key, you have a non-host, but no SSH key. So SSH key gen, you can put some comments, the key length and all, but I'm just making it very simple. If you have any key with this name, it will be overwritten, so make sure you know key with that file name. Passphrase, I don't need a passphrase for now. In protection you can follow passphrase and all. Now we check again, there is an IDRSA and IDRSA pub. So this is the key we are going to use. Okay, now what you have to do is SSH copy ID DevOps at node 1. So we are going to copy this key to the node 1 for the DevOps user. So it's asking for the password. Great, we already copy. Do the same for node 2. Okay, you have copied SSH key for node 1 and node 2 for the user DevOps. Great, let's try SSH DevOps at node 1. Good, we have it's not asking for the password. Also sudo -i. Okay, the node, it's on the node 1 and with the root access. Good, sudo access, sorry. Do the same for node 2. No password. Great. So we have passwordless access or SSH key based access to the nodes. Perfect. What is next? We just test Ansible. So we have Ansible all. I just list it. List hyphen host. Okay, we have node 1, node 2 and Ansible engine. So what I are going to do is this Ansible engine is a local connection, right? So we don't want to test it. So what we have to do is Ansible nodes, because we remember this host name, we can check like inventory. So this is a host group. So Ansible nodes I just use the ping module. The ping is just not ping. The ping always log into the actual node and get a pong response. So by doing the ping means you have access to the nodes. Wonderful. Ignore the warning for now because it's Python will be kind of end of life soon. And if you want to use with the Python 3, you can proceed with that one. But as for learning, you can just ignore this warning. Okay. The thing is success. What we are going to do is, okay, we will try like minus m shell minus a host name ctl. I want to test the node's host name. Great. Node 1 host name is here, node 2, sorry, node 1 is here, node 2 here, there is no order, means it's working, no issues. That's it. So you can start exploring and refer the other videos for the playbooks and tutorials. So you have the lab ready. So the next thing, the important thing is like once you exit, I mean now already exit from my Ansible engine, I am on my local laptop. The important thing is like you should stop the instance, otherwise it will charge, because in the free tier you have I think some 720 hours of T2 micro instance. If you run all three in parallel for a month, it will be more than 720. So maybe you are spending 2 hours per day, execute or run all, stop it, use it again. Yeah, it's enough for learning. For this I am stopping now. It will ask yes, stop. Now you check the IP. It was 1370.14. now we will check this IP. Do we have IP or not? This is what I told, we are not going to. Okay, EC2 dashboard, instance running, no instance running, I think all killed. This is stopping, stop, it's fine, ignore this. That's my bad, it's not refresh yet. So these are 3 machines. These are terminated. Okay, now we check the public private IP address. It's all blank, but private IP is there. So that's why I told always internally we connect using private IP for Ansible testing. Now the next day you want to test it again. So what you can do is just turn on all nodes, start it, and wait for the items to start and running. Now we check the IP of this Ansible engine. All those things all change actually, because it's all ephemeral. When you stop and start, you'll get new IP. Okay, so we have all 3 running again with the same setup. So what we are going to do is instead of this IP, I'm going to use new public IP. We need to access only Ansible engine. We are already inside Ansible engine. cd ansible demo. It use the same ping command, whether we have access or not. Yes, we have access. Hostname ctl. Good. I check uptime. Good. Everything good. So yeah, your lab is ready. Okay. I exit. So yeah, always remember to stop this lab and start whenever you need it. So make sure you don't don't forget this one. Otherwise it will be running in the background and it may exceed your AWS Free Tier Quota and may result in charging your billing account and credit card. Okay. Also remember the public IP change when you stop and start. And yeah, that's it. For my case, let's say I learn Ansible everything, I don't need these VMs anymore, I'm not going to use it, so I can delete it. So yeah, if you are not using, if you finish every testing learning, then simply terminate these instances. Okay, that's it. So you know how to create the lab, how to stop it, how to use it, configuring the SSH keys, everything. You can use it. And one more thing, I already mentioned all these steps we have did during these first 15 to 20 minutes. You can do in a single command using Terraform. So please watch the video if you prefer to quickly spin up the Ansible Lab in AWS using Terraform. Watch the video, check the video description for that, and that will be more easy compared to this. You just need to execute an Ansible. I mean, the Terraform will take care of everything. You can also learn Terraform. So try that if you are interested. That's it for this video. If you have any question, ask in the comment box. I will try my best to reply. And also remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you miss any videos in the Ansible series, see the video description for the full playlist of Ansible, and also see the GitHub repository to practice the playbook for the different use cases. That's all. See you next time with another video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.